Another beautiful day here in Manawatu, New Zealand. We are going to do some Hatha Yoga. Today you're going to need to have a strap, so if you don't have one, go and grab a belt now out of the wardrobe. And also make sure you have a block, so if you do not have a yoga block, again, go and grab a book, a fat book. We shall get ready to get started. Coming into our open cross-legged. Feet overlapping, letting the knees drop out to the side. And just resting the arms on the legs, on the knees. We're just going to zone into our mat space. So forgetting about what else is happening outside in the world. And focusing on our mat. Our yoga time, starting with our breathing. Nice big breath in. Relaxing on the exhale, drop the shoulders down. Let the tension go. Breathing in. And release. Breathing in. Just trying to even up that inhale and the exhale. Try and keep them to the same length. And on the next inhale, taking the hands up. And dropping the elbows behind, hands behind, elbows staying up. Inhale back up. And exhale. Hands coming down when they come into reverse prayer. So fingertips touching behind our back. Pushing palms together, roll the shoulders back and open. And releasing back to halfway. One hand up, one hand down. Bending at the elbows, see if you can touch fingers behind your back. If you can, just grab hold and put a bit of stretch into it. And releasing back to our halfway. Swapping sides. Bending at the elbows, touching fingers if you can, holding hands if you can. And releasing back to halfway. I'm going to take a spinal twist, so just twisting to the side, back of the right hand on the left knee. Putting the left hand behind you, sitting up tall. And swapping sides. Left hand to the right knee, right hand on the floor, sitting up tall. Coming back to our centre, hands stretched out in front, working into fingers. Working into the wrists. And reverse it back the other way. Drawing a figure eight. And then reverse the figure eight. Right, reaching out in front, fingertips to shoulders. Leaving the fingers in on the shoulders and elbows meeting in the middle, big circles. Right, so we're just doing our warm-ups, warming into all the joints. Getting ready for class. Elbows meet in the centre, we're going to stop there and go back the other way. Stretching through the shoulders, really feeling it. And the arms go. I'm going to stretch legs out now in front, and the same legs, so working into toes first. Working through the ankles. back the other way. Okay, knee into chest, so knee pulling in and pushing out. In and out. In, out. Leaving the leg out and big circles. And take it back. Swapping sides, knee into chest, pushing out. In and out. In and out. And to leave that leg out and draw those circles. Reverse it back the other way. Last one. And legs down. Feet out nice and wide. And do your straddle sit. So remember, knees should be pointing upwards. We don't want them rolling in. Big breath in. And rolling forward into a forward fold, rotating through the hip joint. So coming forward, nice flat back. Once you can't get any lower, take the hands out to the feet. We're going to take a couple of breaths here. Each exhale, we just sink a little bit lower. Sitting back up, hands down into extension. Release, big breath in. Rolling through the hips again. And forward and down, hands out to the feet. Back to seated and back into our extension. And release. Bring feet together. So feet together into butterfly, working through the knees, moving them up and down. Still using that forward fold technique, so we're still wanting to roll from the hips, not bending from the waist. And we're also wanting to bring our chest towards the floor again. Elbows will be outside the knees, so big breath in. Rolling forward, lifting up, bringing that chest forward, nice flat back. Elbows to the floor. Couple of breaths here. Back on up to seated, back into our butterfly. Right, we're taking another breath in. Rolling forward, elbows to the floor. Just remembering we're still warming up. Back to seated. So we're going to take the right foot and just step it forward. Then add the left one to it. So we've changed the stretch now. This is called diamond pose. Our arms will stay inside our legs, but we're still doing that same forward fold technique. So big breath in. Nice flat back. Elbows stay inside. And just snuggle down as low as you can. Once you can't go any further, drop the head. We have 4 big breaths here. To seated. Coming in, grabbing hold of the feet, so either at the instep or 2 fingers around the big toe. So spinal balance, we should be balancing on our tailbone. We want both feet to remain off the floor. So this is all about balance as well as leg extension. So taking your right leg up. Bring the right leg in, swapping over to the left. Bring the left leg in, out both feet. breath in. So extend the left leg out nice and long, and keep the right leg bent. Interlock the fingers under the ball of the foot. Take that right leg up. So from here, we're going to pull that leg forward. So we're trying to bring the knee on our right leg towards our nose. And then letting go. Stretch that leg out. Swap to the other side. Left leg in. Fingers interlocked under the ball of the foot and push up. Following the left knee to the nose. Right, letting go. Just a standard forward fold, so big breath in. We are forward folding down towards the toes. Right, releasing from here, we are coming down to lying down. We're going to need your block because we're going to do that little bit of core work, give our core a bit of a blast. So we are lying down, grabbing our block. Wow, I'm a bit blinded by the sun. It's amazing to have such good weather still as we're heading into our winter. But right where I am right now, I am blinded. So, I will have my eyes closed throughout this, which is quite normal for yoga. You should be able to do your yoga with your eyes closed just by listening to cues. So we're going to start first with our knees bent, our feet really close into our bottom. And then we're just extending our legs straight on up. So we're a nice L shape. Pop the block between the legs, squeeze it. Start working on our core, so nice big breath in. Exhale and lower. Inhale, raise up. And exhale, lower. Inhale up. And lower. And up. And lower. So just not letting the feet touch the ground each time we lower to the floor. And just stay off. And synchronizing that movement, so the breathing and the leg movement work together. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you raise up. Right, inhale up, block comes away, knees into chest. And then just grabbing hold of the knees, we're just going to rock across that lower spine. So rocking from one side over to the other, little lower back massage. Right, getting ready to do the next one. So same position for those legs. Knees are bent, feet are in nice and close to the bottom. We're going to interlock our fingers and then pop our hands in behind our head. Elbows resting on the floor. And we're taking both legs straight back on up, so we're in the L shape again. First, drop the right leg out straight and bend the left knee opposite elbow to knee. So right elbow to left knee. Hold. Inhale up, both feet coming straight up. Exhale, swap sides. And inhale up. Exhale down. And up. And down. And and down. Hope you can feel some burning going on. Right, one more each side. Right, inhale, back straight up. And then knees back down to chest. Just pop your hands on your knees this time, draw little circles. Just drawing the knees around and around. And then taking it back the other way. Okay, grab that block back, we're going to need it again. Again, same starting position for the legs, so we want our feet and nice and close to our bottom, our knees are bent. And taking the legs straight back on up. And then you're going to drop the right one straight, left one bent, and this time pass the block through. Swap the legs over, pass the block through. So it's a bit like a bicycle action with the legs. And we've added a block weave in. Right, head on the floor is your level 1. You want to do level 2, chin to chest, shoulders are up off the floor. Carry on here, or if you want to do level 3, up onto the tailbone. Remember, slow. It's not a race. Doing it slow with control makes the core work a bit harder, keeps it engaged. Right, I'm coming back down to level 2. Coming down to level 1. And popping the block aside. Feet back to the floor. I'm going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees can drop out wide. Arms coming up overhead. And this is just giving us a little rest for a moment. So relax into this pose. And then just focus on that breathing. We're going to try and slow it back down a little bit. So big breath in. Exhale down. Breathing in. And out. Right, releasing arms, releasing hands. So I'm just going to pop back up to seated for a moment and grab our strap. So if you grab your strap, and all we want to do, whether it's a strap or whether it is a belt with a buckle, is thread it through once. Just so it's really easy to adjust. We don't want to weed it backwards and forwards because it means it'll get a lock in it, which we don't want. We're going to put that strap around our right leg, right foot, sorry. And then we're coming back down to lying down. So lying down, hopefully you can see all of me in the camera. So we're going to take that right leg up. So lifting it up, use the strap. So this is going to be a bit of an arm workout as well as a good stretch into the legs. So we're grabbing hold of the strap and we are pulling our leg straight over. So again, remember that knee to nose action. That's what we're visualising. We're not necessarily going to get there at all. But maybe if we practice this all the time, every day for a few years, we might just get there. So the stretch you should be feeling is up the back of the leg, so it's into the hamstrings, and we are pulling our leg forward. So what we do is we take it to the edge where we can really feel the stretch. We're like, oh yeah, I can feel that. But don't overdo it. Don't take it to the point that you're pulling that hard that you end up injuring yourself. So taking it to the edge, hold it there. Breathe and relax. Remember, each time we exhale, we try and let tension go. So we've got tension up the back of the leg here. Try and let this tension go. And over a period of time, you'll feel it soften, and you might just get a tiny bit more in that stretch. Right, we're letting that leg come down. And then we're taking it out wide. So it's going to be right hand to the right foot, hold the strap. Foot isn't resting on the ground. Stretch is now inner thigh, it's into the groin area. And again, take it to that edge and then hold. We have a few breaths here. And we are relaxing on each exhale. So if you're feeling like you're tense, your shoulders are up around your ears, let them go. Soften down into it. Right, taking that leg back to the centre. And then we're going to carry on across the body. So we are coming over to the left. So our right hip's going to pop up off the ground. We're going to hold the strap in the left hand, so the right hand is free. And the stretch is now down the outside of your leg, so into your IT band area. Hold it for a few breaths. And returning back to our centre. Right, we're going to take the strap off the right foot and just simply pop it straight over to the left. Extend both legs out, and we are ready to go. So I will just wait a moment for those of you that are still getting the straps sorted. Right, and we're ready to do the same thing now on the left side. So we are bringing that left leg straight on up. Right, thinking about what we're aiming for. So left knee towards the nose. Feeling the stretch now up the back of the leg, into your hamstrings. If you don't feel the stretch, you can pop a flex into that foot, and I can guarantee you will feel the stretch. A little bit of an arm workout as well. Just pulling around, you realise suddenly how heavy your legs are. Right, letting that leg come down, taking it out wide, so it's going out to the left. The left hand is holding that strap with the left foot. Foot is not touching the ground. Stretches on the inner thigh into the groin area. Both hips should be on the floor. And we're going to bring that leg now back to our centre. And then carry on with it across. So now left hip is going to pop up. Right hand is going to be holding the strap. Stretch is now down the outside area of your left leg. remember, take it to the edge, don't go beyond your edge. You'll feel the stretch, just holding right on that edge. Once you've found it, keeping still. Wonderful. Right, we are returning back to centre. Taking that strap off the left foot. Just leaving it out nice and wide right now. We're going to pop both feet into the strap. So bending at knees, both feet in, and then just stretching on up. Last stretch, last pull with the arms. We are going to bring the feet over. So we are pulling over, we're wanting the knee and nose action to happen again. Just come down as far as you can. Good arm work out this one. Flex the feet while you're here if you like. And release. Right, pop that strap aside. Bringing the feet back in nice and close to the bottom. So you should be able to touch your ankles now. That's the aim, is to be able to touch the ankles. If you can't quite get there, then I'll give you an alternative option in a moment. So from here we're coming up into a bridge, so the hips are coming up nice and high. So lifting the hips up high. So you are driving down through the heels, quads should be engaged. Hips are up high. Should be able to touch your ankles now. If you can't touch your ankles, interlock your fingers, rest your arms behind your back. Should be up on your shoulders, and you should be able to rotate your head. There's no weight in your neck, it's all in your shoulders. From here, we're going to take our right leg up. Bring the right leg down. Take over to the left side. Left leg up. This is a wonderful pose if you do loads of these every day for a couple of weeks. If you're wanting to get nice, strong dancer's legs. Amazing muscle work. Left leg back down. Check those hips are still lifting. Coming back to the right side. Right leg up. This time add a tiptoe in on the grounded foot. Lower that heel, lower the right leg. Swapping sides now, left leg up, and add that tiptoe in. Right, lower the heel, lower the foot, and lower the hips. From here we are crossing the feet over and rocking up to seated. Well done. Right, so from here we are going to come around onto hands and knees. Done a lot of work lying down. So hands will be shoulder width apart and knees are hip width apart, and we are coming into our cat-cow. So cat-cow, remembering tummy down for cow, big breath in, looking up. And cat is arching the back, chin to chest, squeezing all the air out. Just swap between the two. Inhale up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale. And exhale. So from our cat-cow pose, we are tucking toes under, lifting hips back on, up nice and high. Just checking in on that position first. So hands should be shoulder width apart, feet should be hip width apart, hips up high, pull the chest back towards the knees, then lower the heels. Just slowly lower each heel one at a time. So walk your dog. Ready to come into our pigeon pose. So let's start this time with our left leg. Wander that left leg up. And then we're swinging all the way forward. So we're bringing that knee up to where our hands are. Flatten out that back leg, stretch it back behind you. If you need to, you can use your toes to creep it back. And then from here, coming to either elbows, or if you prefer, head to the mat, stretching the arms out in front. I'm just going to wander back a fraction. So just focusing on where you're feeling that stretch at the moment. So knees into the buttocks and the hips, lower back. So where most people hold their tension, some in their ankles as well in this pose. So you're just going to take that nice big breath in and relax on the exhale and try and soften, try and melt down a bit lower into that pose. So this is the fight or flight scenario where you sort of feel, ooh, this is feeling a bit ouchy, and you try and pull back out of it. So we're going to try and resist doing that. We're going to try and embrace it and soften, melt down into it. From here, coming back first up to elbows, then on to our hands. So on that back foot, which is my right foot, we're going to tuck the toe under and lift the knee up, so that we can push from here back into a three-legged dog. So we're pushing up. Then lower that left leg down and walk through. And getting ready to swap sides this time, the right leg is extending up into three-legged. We're swinging that leg through and up to the front of the mat, and down on the knee. Right, scoot that leg back a bit if you need to, and then from here down to elbows. And then finally, stretching all the way down, head to mat, stretch the arms out. Just comparing this side to the other side, so we always have one side that works easier, it feels a bit easier, and one side that doesn't. And so expect that. It's nothing unusual, it's all part of being your left-handed and your right-handed side. You have one side that is easier to work and one side that is harder. Coming back to elbows if you're all the way down, and then back up onto hands. Tuck the toe under on that left leg and stepping back on up into three-legged again. And then lower that leg down, walk through. Coming back down to knees for a moment, we're going to take the knees out wide, toes are touching. Pull back, so it's child's pose, but with frog legs. Rest the head to the mat if you can. Soften through those hips. Elbows. We're going to tuck our toes under the back so that we're coming into an ankle balance. So heels are coming together, balls of the feet are coming together, knees are out wide. Just rest your hands there and try and be nice and long through the body. Roll the shoulders back and down. Strong ankles. Bring the knees together. Take the hands to the floor, pushing on up into a forward fold, so nose to knees. And a soft bend in the knees, we are rolling all the way on up to standing. Coming up to the front of your mat, so we're going to do our Surya Namaskar. So I'm going to work through the levels, so we're going to have 4 levels to pick from. So if you are experienced in your Surya Namaskar and you want to go straight up a level and start where you're working at, then fine, let's just do that. But I'm going to start at beginner's level and then carry on up, just showing you all the options as we go. If you choose to just stay back at beginners, you don't need to advance with me, you're just working to your own level. So we're starting at the front of the mat, hands are in our heart space. Starting with a resting breath, so a nice big breath in and out. Inhaling, arms are coming up. Exhaling, forward fold. Hands to the floor, so hands should be shoulder width apart. Stepping back with the right foot into a low lunge. So I have my blue mat here because I have a sore knee. Just to take some of the pain out of it. So down onto my knee. Tuck the toe under. Ooh, the knee's not liking it. Tuck the toe under, lifting up. We are stepping back into downward dog. Coming forward onto the knees, elbows are rotating around, so remember elbows to the front, and then chaturanga, 8-point salute. Bottom stays in the air, sliding down, dropping down, pushing up, cobra. Pulling back, tuck the toes under, lifting on up, downward facing dog. Taking the left foot to the front of the mat, taking the right foot to the front of the mat, inhaling on up. Exhaling down, resting breath. Inhaling and up. We have a fan down in the class, lovely. Exhale, forward fold, down we go. Stepping back with the left foot, knee down. Stepping back with the right foot, downward dog. Coming forward onto the knees, elbows around, chaturanga. Drop the tummy down, pushing up, cobra. Tuck the toes under, lifting on up, a downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the right foot. Up to the front with the left foot. Inhaling on up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. Inhaling and up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with the right foot, this time high lunge because we're going up a level. Stepping back with the left foot, downward dog. Coming forward, we're planking, so if not, go back to knees down. And chaturanga, down we go. Drop the tummy down, pushing up. Cobra. Tuck the toes under, lifting up. Downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the left foot. Up to the front with the right. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. And up, and down. Stepping back with the left. Stepping back with the right, downward dog. Forward into plank, elbows around, chaturanga. Dropping tummy down, pushing up. Tucking toes under, lifting hips up, downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the right foot. Up to the front with the left. Inhaling on up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. And up, and down. Stepping back with the right, and the left. Fall into plank, chaturanga, coming down, pushing up. Tuck the toe under, lift the hips up, downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the left, up to the front with the right. Inhaling up, exhaling down, resting breath, and up. And down, Stepping back with the left. Stepping back with the right, downward dog. Plank and down. And up. Tuck the toes under, lift up, downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the right. And the left. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Resting breath. And up. Exhale, forward fold down. Stepping back with the right, high lunge. And the left, downward dog. Coming forward into plank. This time we're going to wander up with one foot. So right foot's coming up. And chaturanga, three-legged dog. Dropping down and up. Tuck the toes under, hips up high, downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the right. And the left. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. And up. And down. Stepping back with the left. Stepping back with the right. Downward dog. Forward into plank. And down. Coming down, pushing up. Cobra. Tuck the toes under, hips up, downward facing dog. Stepping up to the front with the right. Up to the front with the left. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. And up. And down. Stepping back with the right. And the left. Wander that right foot back up. Coming forward into plank. Chaturanga. Foot down, pushing up. Tuck the toe under, lift the hips up. Downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the left. And the right. Inhaling on up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. And up. And down. Stepping back with the left foot. And the right. Downward dog. Forward into plank. Wander that left foot up. Chaturanga. Dropping down. Pushing up. Tuck the toes under. Lifting on back. Up to the front with the right. And the left. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. Inhaling and up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with the right. Stepping back with the left, downward dog. This time no shins on the ground, so we're coming forward into our plank. Chaturanga down, rolling over, tops of the feet only. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips back and up. Downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the left. And the right. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. And up. And down. Stepping back with the left. Back with the right. Downward dog. Back into our plank. Chaturanga. And tops of the feet only. Rolling back over the toes. Stepping up to the front with the right. Up to the front with the left. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. And up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with the right. Back with the left. Downward dog. Plank. Down. Tops of the feet only. Tucking toes under, hips up high. Downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the left. The right. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Resting breath. And up. Forward fold, down we go. Stepping back with the right. Left, sorry. And then the right. Forward into plank, chaturanga. And up. Toes over and back. Stepping up to the front, the right. The left. Inhale up. Exhale down. Resting breath. Okay, one more on each side, whichever level you want to work at. Resting breath. And up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with the right.
Stepping back with the left, downward dog. I'm going to do the three-legged version, so right leg going up, into plank, chaturanga. Foot down, pushing up. Tuck the toe under, lifting up, downward dog. Stepping up to the front with the left. And the right. Inhale on up. Exhale down. Resting breath. And up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with the left. Last one, guys. Stepping back with the right. Downward dog. Forward into plank. We're going to do three-legged, so left leg's up and down. Dropping foot down, pushing up, cobra. Tucking toes under, hips up high. Stepping up to the front with the right. Then the left. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And well done. That got the blood flowing, didn't it? I feel like I haven't done nearly as much exercise as I normally do, with having no work on and no yoga on. So good to have a little burnout on the yoga mat. We are now coming into some balance. So we're just going to start with tiptoe first. So finding that thing to focus on that's not moving. So in yoga it's called your district point. Same technique is used in dance. So finding something that is not moving, either on the floor, the wall, and that's your focus point. Fingers interlock, we're popping our hands on top of our head. And we are inhaling up to tiptoe, pushing up. Exhale and down. Inhale and up. Exhale, down. One more. Inhale and up. And exhale and down. And then the arms go. Coming into our tree pose. So I'm going to do one facing you and do one with my back to you, just so you can see the difference between the hands for the reverse side work. So starting on our right leg, left leg is picking our level we work at, so if you feel like your balance is off today, or you're just a beginner, you can start off with your big toe on the ground, which is a bit like a bike stand. Otherwise coming up to calf, coming all the way on up to the inner thigh, and then hands into our heart space. Getting comfortable first. Right, find that district point. And then off we go. Inhaling, hands are coming up. Exhale, open out wide. Okay, if balance is feeling good, you want to put flow in. We're going to add flow. Back to our centre. Flow the other way. Back to our centre. Still with me, we're going to try reverse prayer. So hands are coming down, behind us, fingertips touch first, pushing the palms together to reverse prayer. Roll those shoulders back and open, great chest opener. Huge breath. And then releasing back up and around. Hands to heart space. And release that leg. Wonderful. So, same thing, other leg. And I'm going to turn my back to you. Right, so this time my weight's on my left leg and my right leg is picking the level I work at. So toe on the floor or to the calf, or coming all the way on up to the thigh. Once you've got your balance, hands into heart space. And if you're ready, off we go. Inhaling, taking arms up. Exhale, opening out wide. Right, if you've got the balance, pop some flow in. And if you're still with me, we'll do reverse prayer. So hands come down behind us. Fingertips touch. Trying to push those palms together. And then roll those shoulders back and open. Releasing the hands back up and around. Hands back into heart space. Let that leg go. Right, well done. Coming from here, we're doing our Egyptian pose. So I'm going to do it side on, just so you can see the happenings with the feet. So we start with one foot, or both feet together, taking the right foot just back so they're offset from each other. Now from here, breathing in, taking the hands on up. And we're going to exhale down the outside of the front leg. So we're going down to the left. So this is where you're getting this lateral stretch. So feeling that stretch as we go down. And then coming all the way around to the floor. So ankles, shins, or the floor, whatever you can reach. Couple of breaths here. And then inhaling back up. Exactly the same way as we went down. Hands back to heart space. Taking that front foot to the left foot, stepping it back, and we have swapped sides. Carry on, big breath in, arms are coming up. And exhaling down the outside now of the right leg. To the shin, the ankle, the floor. Inhaling back up. And exhale down. Well done. Right, we're going to come round to front. Feet are turned out now, ready to do a squat. So we want our feet still to be around about that hip width apart. If you're new to squatting and you have trouble getting down, you can have your block really close by, can be used as props. So I'll just pop mine there just to demo it as we go down. So we're going to come to halfway first, so nice big breath in. And then we exhale, elbow and knees meet. So knees should be out over the ankles. Don't want them rolling inwards. Right. This is halfway point. Inhale, push up. Coming back to that halfway point. And we're going to try snuggling all the way down to full squat. Now if you have trouble getting into squat, that's when you can use your block. So if you can't get all the way down, you can just use your block to help support you as you start to soften it. It's all about the hips. Some of it is about into the legs and the calves, how tight the muscles are as well there. So it's just depending on your body makeup, and the odd person just can't squat at all. So we're down here sitting in our squat. Wriggle if you need to. So heels should be to the floor. If you're tiptoeing, take your feet a little bit wider out just so the heels can sink down. Palms to the floor. And we're turning our feet inwards and straightening the legs. We're going to take our right hand to our left elbow, left hand to our right elbow, and just dangle. So we're using the weight of our head to help pull down the length of our spine, give it a good stretch. Opening up the vertebrae. So the top half of your body should be like a rag doll. Bottom half is holding you up. Right, let the arms come back to the floor. Bending at the knees, we are rolling all the way up, vertebrae by vertebrae. To standing, roll those shoulder blades down the spine. Right, crossing feet over, coming down to our seated. So we only want our feet crossed over at the ankles, trying to let the knees come forward. You can come down with your arms in genie position if you wanted to. If you think you're going to need them to help catch you, then definitely do that. We don't want any accidents. And we're coming down to seated, back into our open cross-legged. So from here we are going to come into spinal twist. So left leg is extending out, right leg is going to cross over at the knee. Left elbow is going to come to your right knee. Now you can reach forward with your right arm. Feels a bit of a contortionist at the moment, that's correct. We're taking a big breath in, we're drawing a circle. And we're rotating that arm all the way around so that we can look at that back wall. So our hand comes to the floor, we're peeling the shoulder back and open. Look at the wall behind, and we're taking 3 big yoga breaths. Then we're inhaling, we're bringing that arm back up exactly the way we took it around. So bringing it back on up and down. Let that right leg go. Nice big breath in. And forward folds, hinge from the hips. Tummy comes down first, chest. See where you can reach, shins, ankles, maybe toes. Drop the head down. Rolling back on up to seated. Swapping sides now, so the left leg is going to cross at the right knee. And the right elbow is going to come to our left knee. Left hand is reaching forward, big circle, draw back circle, and take the hand to the floor, look behind you. 3 big breaths. And then we're going to bring that left arm back up and around. We're going to let that left leg go. 1 big breath in. Rolling forward from the hips, chest coming down. Head finally. If you're finding it really easy to get to toes, then cross the hands over. That will make the stretch a little bit more challenging. From here we are coming back on down now to lying down, so feet out wide, shuffling on down. We're going to come into a spinal twist, so we're going to do an extension on our normal spinal twist. We're going to turn sideways. So our normal spinal twist, we just bring our knees in, we take our arms out wide, and then we drop to the left, look to the right, and then we will swap sides. So you're welcome to carry on doing that, or you can come up to the extended version of it. So the extended version, we are extending our left leg out. And we're going to use our left hand to grab hold of our right big toe, pushing that leg on up, and then rolling to the left hand side. So the right arm is still out wide. This is a big stretch all the way down that outside of that IT band area. Try and keep the shoulders back towards the floor. And then we're rolling back on up. Now let that leg go. Swapping sides, the left leg is coming in, right hand is taking hold of the left big toe, pushing on up, rolling to our side. Remember, we're peeling the shoulder back, trying to keep it on the floor. Right, bringing that foot in, back up, down. Letting that foot go. extending out nice and long. So getting ready to come now into our Shavasana. So today you have the choice. You can either lie out nice and long in your corpse pose, or if you prefer you can bring your knees up. We're going to do TP, which is knees caved into the middle and the soles of the feet out to the edge of the mat. Or alternately, you can bring the soles of the feet together, knees drop out wide. So this is coming into figure 8 pose, so the hands rest up and overhead. So just picking what you want to do with the legs first, and then you're going to choose the arms. So the arms could be like this in the figure 8 pose, in any of those leg positions. Or you can have a hand on heart, hand on tummy. You can have the arms resting out wide, or just down beside the body. Picking what you want to do, and then we're just going to lie here. And just focus on lying in our mat, closing eyes, even controlled breathing. Trying to get a bit of length into that breath. So if you're taking little short breaths, try and get them nice and long again. Inhale for the count of 3. Exhale for the count of 3. Do that again. Now on each exhale I want you just to relax and soften. So we're trying to melt into the mat. And once we've got this rhythm going with our breathing and our relaxing, I want you to start scanning for noises. So normally when we are at home in our neighbourhood we would hear cars and traffic and planes, things going on. All of that has quietened down on planet Earth right now. And we can hear new sounds that we wouldn't normally hear. So just scanning around, find a noise, focus on it for a moment. Acknowledge that noise. You're going to let it go and then find a new noise. Alright, so you should be on to about 3 different noises by now. If you're enjoying doing this, I'm going to leave you here to carry on and just come around and get up in your own time. For those of you who want to come back to life again now, we're just going to start with wriggling fingers and wriggling toes. To stretch the body out into corpse pose for a moment if you haven't been in corpse. Going to open our eyes, rock the head side to side. Pull the knees up to the chest and curl up into a nice tight ball. Rock across that lower spine. And then
finally curling up into a tight ball with nose to knees. So coming up, squeeze, 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 nose to knees. And then rocking on up to seated, or if you want to roll onto a side and come up to seated. Right, so hopefully you discovered some new sounds in your neighbourhood as well. Hope you enjoyed your class. See you again soon. And big breath in. And namaste.